Okay, guys, I guess everyone, or I guess more people will be joining as we go. Can you guys hear me? Is it all right? Yes, no? Can hear a bit. Okay, great, great, great. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Loud and clear. All right, guys. So, welcome to this call at which we'll be presenting the roadmap for secret networks. I'm really excited to be here and to present this. You know, when I joined Secret, I think it was, yeah, a little bit more than 2 months ago. So one of the immediate goals that was set was to create an updated roadmap for the project and present it to the community. And here we are after about 2 months of work with a lot of people involved and a lot of discussion and a lot of learning, both mostly on my side. We are ready to present the roadmap. So before we start with the actual thing, I wanted to give to say some words about roadmaps in general, right? Uh, those of you who are in software development know that it's kind of a combination of an art and a science, and roadmaps that people build for their projects are very seldom executed exactly as they were planned. Okay, and that's because the markets change, things change. Some things are easier than they appeared before when planning. Some things are much more difficult. So the things we're going to present now are actually represent our vision and our plans and the order of priorities that we set to ourselves. But with all that, we all need to understand that this roadmap is a living document, and things like when we look back a year from now, we will see that a large part of the roadmap was executed, hopefully, but some things were not executed, and maybe new things came in. So just making it clear, I'm sure you guys understand it really well, but I still wanted to say that. All right, so let's go into the roadmap. Slide 1. Okay, so actually, before we go into the roadmap, I'd like to give the stage to Jonathan, who is head of product, and talk just a little bit about what we did during 2023 and what we achieved, what we developed. So, Jonathan, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. So yes, I totally agree. I definitely agree with you, Alex, that roadmap are living things, and in this hectic environment, it has to be like that. And as you all can see in the next slides, the roadmap for next year is very exciting, and like the vision here, there is very impressive. So let's start from just reviewing, looking back at what we had in 2023. So you can see that we had like a quite busy year in case of upgrades. We had like 3 main upgrades and 3 emergency slash bug fix upgrades that wasn't part of the plan. So we started with the V1.7, the seed rotation upgrade. Basically, it gave us the ability to rotate our seed in case of a hack. It was a result for what happened in the end of 2022 for the Epic leak, and improve like significantly the security level of the chain. Then we move to the next chain upgrade, the V1.8. It was like basically an emergency upgrade to give. We had like some problem with the Apache error that prevented nodes or validators to restart the node and start from 0. So we had to fix it. So we did that on Merge as well. And the next one, the V1.9, contains mainly the secret VRF feature and the IPC library upgrades and updates. Basically, the secret VRF is the first step as part of the privacy as a service concept. So we will be able to be a privacy provider for other chains external to secret. And secret VRF was the first step on that for that. Next one is the V1.10, and it was also like emergency update. contains mainly merge fix, bug fix, nothing very interesting there. And then we had the V1.11 that contains the contract upgrade. It was like a massive upgrade for us, and contains mainly the contract upgrade, as I said, and also IBC hooks, which allowed us to give a better support for XLR general messaging bridge. And then the last one is the V.12, and that's unfortunately another bug fix. And this time it was our fault. We found a bug in the hard-coded admins feature, fixed it, and yeah, that's what we had last year.
Okay.
So giving the word back to you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so now that we've reviewed what has been done, and as you see, roughly we're doing one upgrade per quarter, and probably that will happen. But you know what? Let's dive right in. Let's see what we're going to do in the next year. So first of all, looking at the plan, we are dividing it roughly into three parts. Okay. The first part of the plan is related to the confidential computing hub, right? And it includes things like secret Ethereum and the confidential computing constellation. Okay, we'll talk about this in a moment in detail. Like every one of those three parts has a detailed slide with a detailed roadmap. So the second part is the network infrastructure. Security, scalability, decentralization of secret network. And the third part is community or everything else, which is public goods, documentation, education, secret allocations, business development, and more. Those of you who are, maybe discerning, or maybe all of you realize that especially the third part is more addressed by the foundation rather than by secret labs. And this is true. So this roadmap is actually, it's a lab's roadmap, but it's built also taking into account our cooperation and alignment with the Secret Foundation. So we are doing this, building this together and relying on the foundation for some of the important parts in this roadmap. So 360.eth shows, so when show roadmap. So yeah, so it is actually right now. Okay, so let's go. So let's start with the confidential computing hub, right? So earlier this year, we've announced this idea of the constellation. And in general, the idea of opening up to other ecosystems and mostly to the EVM ecosystem. So this part of the roadmap is actually also divided into three. The first one being secret on EVM, meaning how we offer our privacy, our confidentiality technology to EVM, and an asterisk maybe to other ecosystems as well as we go. The second part is the other way around. It's how we enable EVM users and developers to feel at home on secret. And the third part is about the constellation itself. So let me briefly go through each of those parts. So the first lane here, the secret on EVM, is all about creating development primitives and creating SDKs and samples for EVM developers to be able to use privacy easily right there, right there on EVM, be it Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, whatever, without any need or with a very minimal need to learn new development languages, new technologies, new whatever. Right, and we will start by actually creating this basic privacy as a service SDK with some very basic things, and we have already started doing this work actually. So first, allowing getting a random number from secret working in Ethereum. Then other primitives like key value store and basic set operations. By basic set operations, I mean a confidential contract where you can send multiple numbers, all of which encrypted, and then let's say ask for an average or a maximum or a minimum, something like that. right? And once we're done with this, right, this will all, by the way, be done using the Axelar bridge, this GMP capability that has been enabled in 1.11. So once we're done with this basic SDK, we'll continue with higher level SDKs, like the basic implementations of confidential voting, basic implementation of sealed bid auctions, and so on, right? So these are the topics that we'll be developing. It will take time, but the idea is to provide those examples with that are very well documented and that as EVM developers can just copy and paste and use in their applications. Okay, this will work really great for apps that need confidentiality in some part of their operation, right? Like an NFT marketplace on Polygon that would want a sealed bid auction functionality, or a DAO on Arbitrum that wants secret voting. And that's where we'll promote our technology. And other use cases like account abstraction wallets, storing their key material on secret, some DeFi apps, and so on. Now, apps that have privacy at their core would probably better run on secret, right? On secret network where privacy is native. So, and we want to make it more accessible to both EVM users and EVM developers. So this year, Motion's already started to make secret easier to work with for people who are familiar with EVM ecosystems, right? So we're now working to complete the migration of the bridge. It's kind of part of this onboarding experience. That's why I put it here, right? Bridging assets. I know we had two bridges working in parallel, so now we're working to unite them together. Okay. The next one is MetaMask compatibility. There's been great work done by leading projects in the space, namely Shade, who have MetaMask compatibility in the product now, and also Leap, who implemented, and Mystic Labs as well, who implemented the snaps, the MetaMask snaps to allow MetaMask users to live and work natively on Cosmos and Secret. One more thing is this area, and this thing is with an asterisk because we still need to kind of research that, but something we want to look at is enabling Ethereum RPC on secret nodes, so that to an off-chain tool as MetaMask or any other off-chain tool, they kind of behave like an EVM node. Okay, and then it will be much easier. Then Secret would kind of become like just one more network for MetaMask, right? And then later in the year, we'll address the developer experience. And there are two ways to address that. One way is to let people port their existing code from Solidity to Rust. And this is something, those of you who are familiar, there is this project called Zolang by Hyperledger, which is capable of really translating or compiling Solidity code into Rust and running it on Solana. So we'll be looking into that direction. It might be an interesting way to allow people just use their existing EVM code. And then the next part would be an ability to directly run EVM virtual machine on SGX. Yeah, and this can be part of Secret or another network running as part of the constellation. And this actually brings me to the constellation. There we have a few items. So one of the ideas and one of the things we'll be pursuing is allowing people to create app chains on top of Secret with Secret native confidentiality enabled and to run their apps. Okay, and to do that, we'll start by implementing some form of consumer provider security, something that's available, layered security that's available already through IBC, so it would be integrating and enabling that. Once we have that, we can start onboarding app chains. Later on, we might look into mesh security if needed, meaning that different, like two chains being able to secure each other. And there are two more items that are kind of forward-looking. One is adding more confidentiality technologies. to the mix in addition to what we have in the constellation now. And also a very interesting idea of enclave rollups, which is kind of a way to run some code inside a rollup and generate a proof that exactly the correct code was ran in exactly the correct rollup, but that could greatly increase the scalability and also allow new app chains to run much faster. Okay, so that's the confidential computing hub part of the roadmap. Okay, we'll leave space for questions in the end. So if you have any questions on specific items, please write them down for yourself, and then we'll be able to answer them in the end. Okay, because some of the things may become clearer as I progress. Okay, the network infrastructure. Right, so this is the core, right? So without a solid foundation, there's no way we can build great things. So that's why we need to continue investing in the secret network itself. Most of the items on this roadmap have actually been published already before. They are available in our documentation with more details. Oh, by the way, we will be publishing a blog post summarizing the things I'm delivering to you now. So it will all be available online. We'll probably be publishing it by the end of the day today. So so the items here are divided into in the best of blockchain traditions in security, scalability, and decentralization. So security-wise, we have the Merkle proofs, which improve the security by preventing specific replay attacks. We will address the MR signer to MR enclave migration and decab attestation. These two items are mostly serving decentralization, although the second one also serves scalability. We'll invest in upgrading to IBC Go 7.3 to enable all kinds of features that are available there. And later down the road, we will do things like ORAM research or alternatives to improve transactional privacy for SNPs 20. We'll work on streamlined seed rotation, meaning changing the master key of the network in an easy and automated way. And then there is threshold encryption that we might address probably 2025. It's even not next year, but the year after. We might start in 2024. In terms of scalability, we'll work on researching next generation SGX framework. We started working on Graamen last year and a little bit this year. We haven't reached any great results there yet, so we'll be looking at Graamen and probably other options as well. And then once we have that, we can look at faster WASM engines like Wasmer or maybe something else. And there are some more ideas on making things faster, like concurrent execution of transactions, similar to what the SEI network is doing, but this is a research item. Okay, so that's about the network infrastructure. Now, the next thing is the community. Okay, and this part is where the foundation will be working, or labs will be working together with the foundation on a big part of the items. Right, so here we're divided into three parts as well: the public goods, the allocations and tokenomics, and BDN partnerships. So in public goods, in general, myself as being a newcomer to the Cosmos and the secret ecosystem, I think there are a lot of things that need to be improved or added to bring the experience on a par with, say, EVM ecosystems. And those things are better documentations and also tools for doing things, right? So we'll start by creating very simple tools that will let people, say, to create a new token, right? A new SNP25 token. There is no easy way to do that, so we'll make it possible. And also a tool to create a master permit, like just one permit that allows access to all my information, not just not going token by token. Okay. We'll also address upgrading SCRT to SNP 25 to improve privacy, to allow things like decoys, and in general bringing it up to speed. Some other things, archive nodes. We have some issues with archive nodes right now. There are no good archive nodes, so we'll invest into having them available. And we'll also work to make the life of validators easier. I was present at the last two upgrades, and it's clear that running a secret node is not super easy. And we will improve the scripts and the software to make it easier, to make running the node and upgrading nodes easier. Okay. Two more items here are the how-to documentation and consistent asset naming, right? So how-to documentation, it's something very simple, just explaining people things like how to bridge assets, how to trade, how to stay private, and things like this. So we want to make sure this documentation is available and it's up to date, and any newcomer can easily understand what exactly to do. And this also relates to consistent asset naming, right? Today we have SUSDC, SAUSDC, USDC. When you bridge, you have AXL USDC. So it's kind of a lot of confusion. So we will think of how we can simplify things and also how we standardize things across the projects, right? For example, Shade has kind of one sort of naming convention, while the Secret Tunnel has another one, so we'll need to address that to make things easier for people to understand. All right. Now, the next thing is exciting. It's about allocation and tokenomics, right? So first, we want to restart our grant program. We want to make it, we will be working on that, starting actually next week. And we plan to start the program most likely in January, beginning of the year. And the idea is to make it much more focused, much more structured, much more transparent, and make sure we support maybe a much smaller number of projects, but in a better way. Okay. In terms of delegations, we will do a review of all the existing delegations. We'll start the process in November, meaning like next week or the week after. And we will also commit to a certain schedule, meaning that we do those delegation reviews on an annual basis with a midterm delegation update to do some small adjustments or very necessary adjustments to delegations. Okay. And the third item may be very important for a lot of people, and that's the review of the tokenomics. There has been a lot of conversations in the community, which of course we're following closely. There were proposals on how to change that, so we'll be doing some work to review that, to understand the pros and the cons, and to implement the change. Okay. And the last section, the last but not least, is BD and partnerships. Okay, so we want to go out there. We want to attract people, attract developers to work on Secret Network, and we also want to promote Secret in different places. So things we're doing now is working with payment processors, trying to convince people to integrate Secret as means of payments in all kinds of payment processing products, so that we can pay using Secret or even Secret for different things on the internet, right? That would be awesome if we could pay confidentially for certain things. Okay. And also this quarter, we're working on a partnership with a hardware wallet company. We will announce more as it becomes available, as the information becomes available, but it will also be very good for Secret. Okay. And during the year, actually, kind of in parallel with the progress of our privacy as a service SDK, we'll be working with companies in different verticals, maybe not necessarily in this particular order, but I had to put some order here. So we'll be working with gaming companies, offering them our VRF capabilities, random number generation, with DAOs, offering them our confidential voting, with NFT marketplaces, offering our confidential NFT content, DeFi protocols, offering full confidentiality of trading, wallets offering storage of key material on secret. So we'll be addressing all those partners. We will also be working to improve our existing business development processes to make them more focused and more efficient. And that's in conjunction with the foundation, right? And the last item here is potential integrations with DeFi data hubs like DEX Screener, Token Terminal, and a bunch of others out there. And that would require us to expose certain APIs, probably us and other projects on Secret. But I think it's very important that Secret and whatever is happening in Secret DeFi is available and is kind of available under the fingertips of traders in everywhere on the blockchains. So that is basically the roadmap, guys, and this is our traditional onwards and upwards motto, which I fully subscribe to. So thank you so much for listening patiently. And I guess now it's a good time for people to ask any questions they might have, voice any comments. Yeah, exactly. Q&As. I mean, if you guys don't want to speak, really, you could just type in the chat, and I'll do my best, or we will do our best to answer. Raise your hands. Okay, very cool. Can we have video, pics, NFTs, and everything else on chain? Well, I guess, yeah, we can, technology-wise, maybe not necessarily storing the videos on chain, but the videos can be stored on, say, IPFS, and the access key would be stored on chain confidentially. Mickey, decap is on the roadmap, absolutely, right here. It's right here, and it's important. Cash Money, Itzik, what I'm most excited. Frankly, I'm most excited by those parts here. Okay, I think that up until now, Secret has built and maintained the longest running confidential computing network out there, and hosted a big number of different projects, more successful, less successful, but we saw a lot of usage. But up until now, we've been mostly inside one ecosystem, right? And I think today, to me, it's very clear that privacy is going to be one of the key drivers of the next bull run. Today, the blockchain technology, in my view, kind of reached some sort of a glass ceiling where most of the people who wanted to get there already got there, right? DeFi is booming, DeFi is great, but I think a lot of big institutional players are kind of wary and scared and don't want to get there just because there's no confidentiality, because everything is out in the open. Think of BlackRock having all their trades in the open. I mean, they wouldn't want to do that, right? So, and that's why we're seeing a lot of different solutions popping up in different places, trying to give answers to this privacy and confidentiality issues. And I think we're positioned really strongly with our technology and our long history, in blockchain terms, to offer those services. And we have this potential to become really this confidential computing hub, meaning having projects in different ecosystems use our confidential computing technology So that's what I'm the most excited about. Yeah, Joao, yes, we have the resources to address the roadmap. We will be bringing hopefully more people on board. The foundation actually is bringing more people, so not too much. It's still bear market, but yes, we do have what's necessary. Crypto Wizard, well, it's not really, it's merging and not merging. It's well, you could put it this way. You know what? Yeah, it's like offering our stuff on EVM, but also making Secret behave and be more EVM friendly. And I think actually it's a movement all across Cosmos, right? Because at least for now, it seems like EVM is bigger than Cosmos, right? And I don't think we should fight, but rather we should join in the meaning that we have something that is badly needed on EVM, and we will offer that to them. Yeah. What is the biggest roadblock to achieving this roadmap, and what does the roadmap look like if it takes longer to overcome? Well, John, it's a great question, and frankly, I don't have a decent answer right now because, okay, let's have a look. So these things are all relatively clear on how to do, like secret and EVM. These things are probably more difficult, and we may hit some problems there. They might take longer. Most of the items in the first half of the year are have been already discussed and planned, and kind of some initial engineering was done by the team. The second half of the year items are with more unknown. So some of them might, I mean, we might fail on some of them, right? We might not be able to find something that is a better SGX framework this year, right? Because it might just not be available, or it might not suit our needs, or a faster WASM engine. So then, in this case, we will look for other avenues, right? So I don't see like one clear big roadblock that needs to be passed in order to succeed. I think every one of those tasks will have a lot of small blocks that we will break, go over, or go around. And the tasks that are further down the road may be more difficult and more challenging. We have no maxis. Yeah, right. I agree. We should have maxis, right? What kind of a blockchain is it without maxis? Yeah, guys, and by the way, after we publish the blog, I think there will be some comments section there or anything. So in case there are things that are missing from this roadmap, I'm not saying we will just add whatever ideas that people might have, but it will be good to get feedback on things that the community believes are needed and are missing, right? I think it's very important also to hear what people think. Regarding cooperation between Phoenix and Secret, so in the roadmap, technology-wise, we might have something later in the end of the year. It also depends on Phoenix roadmap, so I don't have anything specific to say right now. But we will be cooperating in promoting general confidentiality, maybe jointly doing certain events in different places. So that's the idea. Does this dude look like me? Well, not that.
We had a bunch of questions about competition. Alex, I don't know if you want to address that.
Okay, so in terms of competition, well, to address it in a, I'll give my take. Maybe somebody else from Labs will want to jump in. So we are, of course, following the competition. There are different projects out there. competition is great. Actually, we're seeing more and more projects coming in right now, and that to me shows that there is an understanding on the market that confidentiality is needed. That's what I'm saying. The confidentiality will be one of the important topics of the next bull run, one of the important enablers of adoption. So the competition can be divided very roughly, and again, I haven't prepared to that, but that's to answering this in a structured way. But I would divide it into like two big categories. So there is competition where people are doing fully Turing complete confidential computation blockchains. Things like ACES. Well, Phoenix is not a technology, not a competition, but a technology in that respect. Projects like, I guess, Aztec and Alio, these are people who are building something that will allow both transactional privacy and computational privacy, right? Transactional meaning transferring value from one account to another. By the way, for that, we've had a lot of projects like Monero, Zcash, Grin, Beam, Firo. There are a lot of Monero, of course, right? There are a lot of projects allowing transactional privacy. So I don't see them as a competition. So our competition is more like in the computational privacy. And there are people that are, I'd say, in the middle, which kind of enable they look like smart contract and computation, but it's still more of a transactional privacy. And I would name, for example, Namada, which allows like confidential transfers. Projects like Railgun that allow like a very specific use case, not a general purpose computation privacy. So there is competition. Our advantage is that we are the only mainnet technology with enough history and with proof that things are working, and with a lot of experience and with a clear roadmap and a strong team. So that's our advantage. But again, I don't think it will be a winner-take-it-all game. So competition is essentially good because it shows the demand, it grows the market, and it also gives us ideas on what we need to do. Question about BD plans, attending more conference. I think this is a separate question. I think labs might, the foundation might want to talk about that later on. So I don't have the conference plans right now, but we will improve and step up our BD plans for sure, right? Make them more structured and try to address more potential partners.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have a prepared thing about BD for next year. Yeah, we're still working on it. We will share more as we get more clarity. But it's more than events. I think there's much more to be done than just going to events and being there and being seen. We're really focusing on building out the ecosystem, on getting developer adoption, and finding some use cases, getting good partnerships. Those are the things that I'm thinking about right now.
Monero for just funds, that's true. Right, and this part of the roadmap is the BD, right? So this is BD and partnership plans. So we have a lot on our plate for the next year. YOLO, question about Guy Ziskin, I assume. So Guy Ziskin will, the guy is like kind of a day-to-day capacity. So research, help with strategy, but not day-to-day and full-time work. Ahmed Salman, retaining builders, it's an important thing. I think the grant program is important, support is important, and working close with builders. We are trying to do that. Actually, it's not appear on the roadmap right now. Maybe it shouldn't because it's kind of a constant thing, but yeah, we'll need to to give more attention and more time to existing builders. Yeah, so the grant program will attract new builders, but also support existing ones. So I think this revamped grant program will do a lot to help in that respect. Validator question, any minor upgrade? I cannot say right now. Phil Crypto, I don't know. We haven't created the detailed plans yet. So I cannot give an answer right now. We'll be able to tell you in hopefully a month. By the end of the year, I think we'll know exactly how the upgrade things will look like. So Lucy, you're asking, what's the bigger picture for Secret? So yeah, the bigger picture for Secret is, again, in my view, it's this. It's becoming the hub for Web3, the confidential computing hub. It's going outside Secret Network, outside Cosmos ecosystem to EVM and potentially to Solana and others. And it's also allowing people to build on top of Secret things, I think app chains, and there are some ongoing discussions about those, will give a lot of strength to Secret Network as well, because then we'll become a layer 1 on which people are building layer 1.5 or layer 2. So that's the bigger picture. Hope it makes sense. M Constant, nice idea. Maybe we should talk to Akash about this. Yeah. Interesting. I haven't thought about that in too much detail. Golem Burn. Yeah, we will be reviewing the tokenomics. I don't have any specific numbers or details, but it's actually, the idea is to review the tokenomics following all the discussions that we had in the community and the proposals that were put up. Awesome. Mina protocol, I'm not familiar. When marketing, well, I think we're doing marketing now, so it is now. Or are you referring to something different? Are you referring to like Super Bowl ads? This is not happening this year. External builders will be very welcome, yes. So let's talk if you have some ideas. Yeah, and M Constant, yeah, will not go as BF, no way. We don't have the hair, so it won't work. What do you think will be the killer app for privacy compute? I wish I knew. I think DeFi will definitely be a big part of that, and especially like institutional trading. But I think there are apps which we haven't really thought about. Yeah, also, you know what? Unstoppable wallets will also be big, I'm sure. But other than that, there may be things that we haven't even thought about that will be the killer apps. Yeah, DeFi is definitely a killer. Well, casino, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, casino will also work. Yeah, and gaming as well. Right. You're correct. Yeah, I think even there's more than one team that builds some sort of gambling projects. Yeah, Fabulous banks are tough to work with. If a native blockchain product and users to ramp up user acquisition. Yeah, February, I think you're right, but there are some old institutions, like I'm talking about hedge funds and big traders, not the banks, but those guys who move big money and who do huge trades on the stock exchanges. hopefully we will enable them to trade on DeFi as well. Exactly. When BlackRock? Soon. Yeah, Skrilla, exactly. That's trading strategy success, or you know, just having all your positions available to anyone is a big problem for large traders. Will there be a focus on strengthening the privacy profile SCRT provides, like making interactions private? So Mickey, that's a good question. We had some discussions about that. Right now, it's not part of the roadmap. Again, I think it's important to stress the difference between transactional privacy and computational privacy. So we're prioritizing computational privacy, which we already have, right? And we're doing some improvements there as well. But we see SCRT, I mean, if you look at SCRT as a tool to transfer money between people versus performing computations and doing trades and doing things like that, it's more of the second rather than the first. So we don't want to compete with Monero. We want to compete with Ethereum for that matter, or any other blockchains. So right now you're right, the interactions are not private, and it might be not ideal for transactional privacy, but I think for computational it is kind of okay. And as ideas come on how this can be addressed, we might address that as well. But again, it's not part of the roadmap right now. Yeah, guys, thank you all so much. It was an amazing discussion, actually, and thanks for all the questions that you guys wrote here. I also have to jump now, so we will be publishing this roadmap as a blog post, and I'd love to see more discussion, more suggestions, more questions, whatever you guys think. And well, one thing I know is that delivering on the roadmap is harder than actually creating the roadmap. So we will work much harder during this year to make this happen. Thank you for your support and for your interest and for the help. Love to the community. Bye-bye.